Today we're talking with Dog Fashion Disco lead singer Todd Smith. How are you doing today, Todd?
Good, man. How's it going?
I'm doing great now. I'd like to ask you, how long has your band Dog Fashion Disco been around? When were you guys first formed?
First formed in, I would say, 95.
95, wow.
Around there, 96.
And where's the band based out of?
Out of Rockville, Maryland.
Maryland, wow. And so I got to ask, what's the rock scene like there these days?
What's the scene in Rockville?
I mean, is there a huge rock scene, or like
It's either Baltimore or DC that bands play around that area. So I mean, we now live in Baltimore, so
okay.
the scene there's good. Definitely,
And I got to ask you because I just love the name of the band. I mean, it kind of rolls off. How did you guys come up with that name?
I think it was our old guitar player's cousin put that name out there, and I think at that point we were so tired of trying to come up with names that we agreed on Dog Fashion Disco. Looking back on it, I'm not a big fan of the band names, but it is what it is. We're stuck with it now, so.
Well, like I said, it's an interesting name, and I think if anything, it's kind of got a flashy sound to it, and when people hear the name, it definitely gets people's attention, and people at least gets people talking about the band. So, that's one good thing. So, I'd like to ask you, how many albums have you guys released to date?
Let's see. Here. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, I believe.
Okay, now you guys are currently on tour, but I understand you're currently also working on the next album. Is that correct?
We're done. It's coming out in July.
Oh, July
22nd.
July 22nd. Wow. And so, what can you tell us about the new CD? Is it are people going to be able to get it like at physical copies as well as at all the digital stores and that?
Yeah, there's a pre-order that's available right now at razortowrist.com.
Okay.
And it's available. The CD's available for pre-order, and we also have some brand new merch up as well. So.
And like I said, I understand you guys are currently touring. So, have you been previewing any of these new songs that are going to be on the new album, or are you going to wait till the album's released?
We've been playing one song that's called War Party.
Okay.
Every night, but for the most part, I mean, we have so many songs that instead of playing a bunch of stuff that people aren't familiar with, we've been playing through the old hits, So.
And I was curious, Todd, being that you're the lead singer, do you typically write the majority? Are you the principal songwriter, or is everybody involved in the songwriting?
It's for the most part myself, our guitar player Jason. I write all the lyrics, and he and I, for the most part, write all the music. We'll write the structure, the foundation of the song, and then every member will kind of add their part. But the main guts of the song are either mine or Jason's.
And I was curious, typically does the songwriting start off with like the music and the lyrics come later? Do you ever write the lyrics first?
Well, what I do is if lyrics pop into my head, I'll compile them and save them on my phone in the notes section.
Okay.
So when a song does present itself, I have words to go back to kind of fill in the pieces of the puzzle. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah. And
sometimes there's lyrics before the music. Sometimes there's music before the lyrics, and you just kind of piece them together.
And as far as inspiration for your lyrics, I was interested in asking, do you typically get ideas for lyrics, things that you've actually experienced or gone through, or things that you've read or seen on TV, or things like that?
All of the above.
Oh.
Yeah. It's usually a line on top of my head from out of nowhere, and I'll jot it down, or I'll hear a cool line from a movie or a phrase from anywhere on TV, a movie. Certain interesting words I hear other artists using, I'll use and piece them together in a different way. That's pretty much it. For some reason, the words just come to me for the most part, and when they do, I compile them. So I when it's time to write lyrics, I'm not experiencing writer's block or anything like that. I have something to look through as far as everything I've compiled.
Oh, cool. And so, as far as singers in that, when you were growing up, who were the guys that influenced you?
Let's see. I am really into Tom York from Radiohead.
Okay.
Neil Fallon from Clutch. Mike Patton, Faith No More. Serge Tankian from System of a Down.
Okay.
I mean, just a ton of other artists like Billy Joel, Elton John, Beck. I mean, the list goes on. There's a lot.
Yeah, I can actually hear some of those influences in some of your guys' music. I was listening to some of the stuff that was up on the web, and it seems like you guys you're one of these bands that don't necessarily get pigeonholed because you got various influences going into your music.
Right.
And is that kind of one of the things you set out to do when you form a band? Is because in listening to some stuff too, like I said, I can't say that you necessarily sound like everybody else out there. You kind of got your own sound going, which I think is great.
Yeah. I mean, we don't like to have boundaries on what we can do. We like to take twists and turns, and if one song starts out heavy and then goes into a ska part, and then has a jazz breakdown or a punk chorus or whatever. I mean, there's no rules to what we're what we're about as far as songwriting. Whatever we feel fits, we tend to just go with it. There's really no rules, so it's nice to have that freedom.
And that's great. So, talk a little bit about this tour you guys have been on, because I understand. Who are some other bands you guys are playing with right now?
We are out with Cypress Stick and a band called The Bunny the Bear.
Okay. And how's the tour been going? Have people been coming out to the shows?
Yeah, it's been great. It's been a lot of packed houses, and we've had great turnouts. We're playing tonight in Sacramento, actually loading into the club where the rest of the guys are as we speak.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's been great. We have, I think this is, the 18th show.
Okay.
17th or 18th show. We have 11 more after this, and then we'll be home in about 2 weeks and have a month off at home. Then we play in Toronto, beginning of August, Cleveland, Michigan, and then we are off for a week and a half, and then we go out with our other band, Polka Dot Cadaver, which we're going to join Dan Margera and his band for a 10-day tour, and that'll lead us up to when we go to London, September 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Oh, wow, that's exciting. So will that be your guys' first time playing in Europe?
It'll actually be the second time. We did a small tour in 2001 of the UK, and we had one show that was in Glasgow, Scotland.
Okay.
But yeah, it'll be nice to get back after all this time. We're playing 3 nights at a place called the Barfly.
Okay.
First 2 nights sold out pretty quickly, and the other one's about 50 tickets away from selling out. The third one is, so it'll be 3 fun nights in London, so we're looking forward to it.
And talk a little bit about that, because I imagine being on tour, across the United States, that's pretty exciting in itself. But to actually go to another country like that, that must be pretty exciting to be playing for totally different people than what you're used to playing for.
Right. Yeah, it's great. I mean, we have amazing fans and they're very supportive. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting back to London, and I know they'll be pumped up because we haven't been there in a long time. So it should be really fun, energetic shows. And
do you find the European audiences are more, for lack of a better word, I guess, more loyal or more supportive of rock bands there than a lot of American audiences are these days?
I think for the most part they're the same. If they're into the band and they come out to see the show, they're pretty psyched to be there. And I guess certain certain audiences, depending on the type of people that come out to see you. Some people like to, bounce off the walls and knock into each other, and some people just like to kind of sit on the side and watch.
Yeah.
It depends on the individual.
Yeah.
We've had some shows on this tour where people are just going ape shit, and then other crowds where they're more just kind of observing. So.
And have you ever been? Have you ever been to any countries like where you guys are performing and people are singing the songs and they're not even, the native tongue isn't even English?
No. I mean, London, I'm speaking. So.
No. Yeah.
Places out of the states that we played.
Yeah. So, now let's talk a little bit about the power of internet. I mean, you guys must get emails and, stuff from your fans every day just visiting your Facebook and that. It must be pretty amazing, to hear some. I mean, imagine you hear somebody, all the way on the other side of the world where, your record is, available, or somebody, you guys haven't even performed, but yet somebody's, playing your music or telling you, hey, man, I'm digging your album. That must be a pretty amazing feeling right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we get emails or Facebook messages from people from like Argentina and China and all over Europe, all over South America, Australia. I mean, they're out there, so it's nice to be able to connect with those people thousands of miles away.
And are there any countries that are trying to get you guys to come and play there that you haven't played yet?
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
A lot of these fans on Facebook and that they'll try to get campaigns started like, we want Dog Fashion Disco to come, play in China or play in Mexico or whatever. Have you seen any of that?
We get that all the time. It's just that, it's logistically it's tough to get that far away.
Yeah.
Hopefully since we've done really well with these London shows, our agent in Europe will be able to add us to being a support slot for a bigger band tour through Europe. I mean, that would be great, and then maybe it would spread from there. So who knows?
And as far as you guys, playing in other countries, does that a lot of that have to do with just like, for example, when the new album's released, how well it sells and all that?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
I was just curious, as far as opportunities for you guys to play, other countries and that. For example, when your new album comes out, does a lot of that depend on how well the album sells and all that?
Well, I mean, yeah, it does. But a lot of it depends on, I guess, if there's demand, a promoter in, say, Germany. If they think that there's a demand for us to go over there and play a show, it's really what we need to do as far as, particularly Europe, is we need to get, like what I was just talking about, a support slot for a bigger band, play in front of people, gain new fans, and then after doing that a few times, we can go over and headline on our own.
And have you guys ever had the opportunity to play even, here in the States, like any of the big summer festivals or anything?
No, we haven't done any summer festivals. We've played Warped Tour shows, but usually when we tour, we tour just as a support band for a bigger act.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've headlined in quite a while, so it's been good though.
And what's talk a little bit about that? What's it like? Being the headliner versus the opening band. I mean, that must be a great feeling. And but I imagine you guys got a lot more responsibilities being the headliners.
Yeah, I mean, we have to not get too hammered before we play.
Yeah.
We play later, but that's not a problem. Yeah, I mean, it's longer sets, and you play later, but I mean, it's all good.
Yeah.
So we've had a blast so far.
And are you finding as the years progress, that the band is getting more and more popular? Not just in Maryland, but all over the U.S. and that.
Yeah, I mean, we gain new fans every more tours we do. When albums come out, they get a little buzz out there, so people pick up on the band. So yeah, it's just we're gonna keep going with it.
And as far as Dog Fashion Disco, I got to ask Todd, do you guys like got like a lot of bands? Do you have a set group of songs you play, like the same set list every night, or do you kind of mix it up from show to show?
We'll probably, what we do usually, we have about 10 songs that are constants in the set, and then we have another 10 songs that are kind of audibles. I mean, some nights we'll play a shorter set depending on how much time we have, but we've been averaging about 15 songs a night, so some of our fans come out to 2 and 3, 4 shows within a tour, so we like to change it up so people don't see the same set every night.
And as far as like this new album is coming out in July, I was curious, when you guys recorded it, did you kind of record it the modern way where everybody kind of recorded their parts separately and you pieced it together, or did you record it kind of like as a live band?
No, it was, what we do is we'll do the entire song with a scratch guitar, then our drummer will come in and play to the scratch guitar, and then we'll just add to it, and usually vocals are the last thing, but you just kind of fill in the pieces of the puzzle.
And I was curious, like, any of these songs on this new album coming out in July, was everything written just specifically for this album, or were there any older tunes that have been laying around for a while that finally made it onto this?
Everything was written for this album. There's 13 songs in the album, and it was all written in mind to come out on this release and written basically at the same time. And
did the band produce it yourself, or did you have an outside producer?
Yeah, we didn't have an outside producer. The Right Way Studios in Baltimore is where we record our albums.
Okay.
And the same guy that we've been working with, or the same two guys we've been working with for the past 10 years, Steve Wright and Drew Lamond, are basically our producers.
Okay.
And we also produce as well. So.
And I imagine, having a 10-year relationship with these guys, that must help out a lot in the sense that, they know what to expect from you guys, and you kind of know what to expect from them.
Right. Yeah, it's a great relationship. I mean, we're the best of friends too, so it's not like you're working with somebody who you're not comfortable with. So we definitely have a rhythm.
Yeah, and so like when you guys went to the studio this time, like again, do you typically have everything written when you go in the studio, or do you kind of jam out the songs and write them as you're in the studio?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, we have everything pretty much mapped out before we go into the studio. There will be slight alterations to some songs, just to make everybody happy, but for the most part, it's all written before the drums get laid down. So.
And for people I've never heard of your band before, how would you describe overall sound of the band? Would you say like you're a rock band, a alternative band? How would you describe the sound?
I would say, hold on one quick second.
Sure.
I'll just go. I would say we're all over the map. We're predominantly like a heavier band. I wouldn't say we're necessarily metal, but harder rock. But we also do like ska, jazz, you name it. We do country. We have a couple like country kind of tunes. So yeah.
And on that,
I said before, no rules. We pretty much.
That's cool.
Like an experimental rock band.
That's pretty cool. On that note, I was curious, like, have you ever had any crossover hits? Like where maybe you've had a song, make it onto country radio, and you've had a song at the same time on rock radio. Anything like that ever happened?
No, we have our songs are really not played on commercial radio, but more on like Sirius XM. We get a lot of play on both of those channels, or those entities. But as far as commercial radio, I mean that's a whole nother level.
Yeah. And so when the new album comes out, are people going to be able? I imagine we get it on your website, but is it going to be available in stores, or do you know that yet?
It should be available in some stores. I don't know exactly where. I mean, we have major distribution, so I guess your guess is as good as mine.
And I guess
people pre-order it at raisinriffs.com if they want the physical CD, and then just download it the day it comes out.
And I guess they come catch a band live. You guys will be selling the shows as well, right? Okay. Well, Todd, it's been great talking to you. I can't thank you enough for taking time to do this. I really appreciate this. Probably be going up in a couple weeks, maybe in mid-July. So once it does, I'll let you know, and I'm going to be sure to check out the album when it comes out, and maybe when I've had a chance to hear the new album, we can do this again, talk more specifically about the album itself. So
Awesome, man.
thanks again.
Thanks for your time.
Take care. Bye-bye.